Hey there everybody, Boyd here with you again, and I've got another flashback video for you guys this time. This one you guys might find kind of interesting because these are a couple of kits that you don't see very often. These are the original MPC model kits from the film The Black Hole, which was put out in the late 1970s, and these kits were put out at the same time to kind of help promote the film, and they only made that one initial run on them, so they were never repopped or anything like that, and now they're going on, 40 something years old, so they're getting pretty rare. Oftentimes you'll see these pop up nowadays online, and they're, the kit itself, if it's in good condition, they go for a couple $100. I was really lucky with both of these kits. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory, kind of how I came about getting them. Maximilian here on the right. A couple years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I just happened to, be looking around on, I think it was eBay, and decided that I wanted to get one of these because I was always a big fan of this. I thought he was one of the most cool-looking and iconic robots that they ever did on for a feature movie, and that's putting them up there against some of the greats like the B9 and the Robbie the robot. But I think he's an awesome design, and really menacing and just really clever the way they did it, where it levitated and everything. And it took on a real personality without actually saying a word in the movie too, which took a lot of work. But yeah, just looking around on eBay one night and found out that I guess this guy that was selling them had them listed in the wrong category or something, because I saw other ones that I had tried to get in the past that were up to a couple $100, and I actually wound up getting this for about 35 bucks. Shipping and all, and it was still in the original box in good condition, and couldn't believe it. And so I kind of kept my fingers crossed till I got it, hoping it was legit. And sure enough, when it got here, it was just like described. It was in excellent shape, never been touched. So it was pretty. I was pretty blown away by that. Then we got Vincent a couple years later. I was doing one of my model shop shows, and one of the guys watching at the time was a good friend by the name of DeWitt Shaneline. He lives up in Canada, and he heard me talking about how I was going to try to find one of these Vincent kits because I wanted to build them as a companion to the Maximilian kit. There were 3 kits in this line. They had these 2, and they also had the Cygnus, which was the big ship that we saw in the film that was just an awesome design in itself. I'd love to build one of those at some point in the future. I'm actually looking into that. There's some 3D stuff out there, but more on that later. But so yeah, and DeWitt heard that, and DeWitt really kindly sent me this model kit. Now, DeWitt said he had a couple of these kits, but still it was amazing, and I still thank DeWitt a lot. If you're watching DeWitt, it was one of the nicest things ever, and it was just awesome to get it. And he sent me a pristine kit. I mean, the kit was like immaculate. The box, still in the plastic, everything was perfect. And so I promised DeWitt that I would do my best when I did this build-up, and I kind of went all out on it. I did lighting, and I did sound effects and the whole thing. And I tried to do my homework, too, when I built this, because I looked at a lot of screenshots of him, and Vincent had a really unique... he had all these really cool markings on him and everything, but he had a really unique paint job, too. He had a sort of a pebbled surface on the silver area, and then in the red areas, he had like a really cool looking red metal flake paint job, kind of a light red, and they put extra large metal flake in it. So he gave it this kind of look at, kind of, it was made out of kind of some kind of futuristic material or something like that. And it was really cool. Now, I couldn't find anything out of the can that matched that, so I kind of went about making it myself. I started off with the basic, got close to the basic shade of red that I thought that matched, and then I took a little bit of all-clad aluminum and stood back really far with my airbrush and just like sprinkled it or dusted it on, so the metal flakes would be almost dry when they were hitting it and give it a little bit of a texture, and it worked out pretty good. I didn't want it to be too huge, the flakes at this scale, or it would have looked, like sandpaper or whatever, but I think at the scale I got pretty close to how he looked. And I went ahead and did the little detail on the top of his hat here by just putting masking tape really close together and leaving a little gap. Then I just airbrushed that on there, and that worked out pretty good. The kit The biggest worry I had was the decals because they were 40 something years old. So I went ahead and put, Tester's decal bonder over the top of them before I even tried. I think I put a couple of coats. And I wound up having a couple of them where even then they tried to chip on me a little bit. And I did my best to kind of patch them up. They look pretty good. I didn't have that much trouble with them. I mean, they could have been a whole lot worse. But I got lucky with that. The only major modification I really did to this, besides the lighting that I did with it, is this little screen. I'll go ahead and power them up. And this little screen in the front here, the kit had this like embossed detail on there, which didn't look right. And then the decal that they had you putting over the top of it really didn't look up to par with the rest of the stuff that was here. It was over exaggerated. It more looked like a kind of a cartoon. So I just decided to replace all of that. I took and made the screen out of clear acetate, and then I painted it from the backside with some Tamiya transparent green. And then I just took a pin or something and made that fine little line to give that little heartbeat effect that you saw that he had in the movie. All of his main lighting was all static. It didn't blink or anything, but I went to a lot of trouble to look at exactly like which colors were in the certain areas, and I tried to match all that up. They're just done with I've got like a little coil of LED tape in there, and these are all just fiber optics that have been painted the different colors, so that made that pretty easy. But it's pretty effective. It looks pretty good. And so that's basically how Vincent went together. He's got this cool little feature, too, where you can pop his top up and you can see his brain inner workings there like he could in the film. He had a couple scenes where he either was surprised and it popped up, or he was getting overloaded with a big, when he was battling one of the other robots or something, and it would pop up and smoke would puff out of there. After I built Vincent, he actually became my favorite. I love Maximilian. I think it's a fantastic design. And like I said, one of the best robot designs ever for a film. But, little Vincent here is just so detailed and everything. And, his eyes are so expressive. They just did a great job. I mean, typical Walt Disney fashion. I'm a big fan of the film. I think it's a fantastic movie. A lot of the sci-fi people think it's, not a serious film because it's more appealing to kids with the stuff what they did with the comedy and the robots and all that. But I think it's a great film, and it's just typical of Disney, and that film is actually kind of categorized as being one of the last major Hollywood-produced films where the studio Disney did all of its own in-house work. That was kind of the last of the era of, like the big films like Cleopatra and all those kind of films where it was just a massive production, and they built these huge sets and everything. The inside of the Cygnus was unbelievable, and that scene where the big meteors comes crashing down the center of it, it's still a iconic scene to this day. All done with practical effects too, not CGI. And but it's it's just really cool. You can see I did a little bit of airbrush work here on the base of Vincent to make my own kind of black hole. And if you look really close, you can see a really tiny Maximilian floating away there. I kind of put that in there to see how many people would notice when they actually looked at it, but had a lot of fun with that. Max over here, he turned out really nice. Now, a lot of people think he's just all red, but if you look at the film, hopefully one day they're going to release a Blu-ray version of that. I think it would look fantastic. I've got the old DVD, but it's not a very good transfer. It's really grainy and, a little bit blurry in some spots. Hopefully they've got the original print of the movie still, and they could eventually restore that. That would look absolutely awesome in, something like 4K or whatever. I'd love to have a copy of it. But old Max here has had quite a bit of weathering and shading on him. If you look at him really close, he kind of almost looks like he was outside or whatever and got kind of overheated a little bit, like maybe he can travel around through the atmosphere or fly or whatever. I don't know what he was designed for, but he has a really interesting look. The original prop of him still exists. It's on display, I think, in one of the Hard Rock cafes somewhere, is what I saw online a couple years ago. He's a little bit beat up. He's got some chips on him and stuff here and there, but it's the original full-size prop, and the thing is huge, too. It's, like 8 feet tall or something like that, and they got it kind of looking like it's hovering in midair in the middle of the restaurant, so I'd love to see it. If it's out there and I'm ever in that area, I'll definitely stop in and check it out. But we had a lot of fun, a little bit of airbrush detailing on him. And I did the little pulsing light effect with a single red LED, and I believe I have a small little tenna controls board in there that makes the pulsing effect. His on and off switch is down here on the bottom. I don't have him on a stand because he actually hangs in my little display room there. But we had a lot of fun with him too. And his head turns and everything. He's pretty cool. So okay, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing these. Vincent's also got this little extension piece that can go on here, but I don't really want to pop that hatch. This little hatch opens up here, but I'm afraid of chipping the edges of the decal, so I don't mess with it very much. But we'll wrap this up with some dialogue from Vincent and his companion Bob. If you guys are a fan of the film, you know exactly who I'm talking about, and their adventure on the Cygnus. Here we go.
Vincent, vital information necessary centralized. Labor force, the 396. I see by your markings you're from the old 28, programmed in Houston.
My name's Bob, my old sanitation battalion. I couldn't talk freely before, but I have a whole lot to tell you. If Maximilian knew you were here, it'd be the end for the both of us. You and your friends are in grave danger. This is a death ship. Let's get out of here before we're discovered.
Too late. Watch it. Is there any more?
All clear.
Who's the flashy black hat?
STAR, Special Troops Arms Regiment. He was #1 until Reinhardt built Maximilian.
Did you ever go up against him?
Once,
What happened?
I beat him. He got so upset he blew a fuse. Oh, Lordy, he wants a rematch.
As an old Navy hero once said, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
He also said something about going in harm's way.
You'd have beat him again if he hadn't bumped you.
Nah, I'd have missed on purpose.
Don't worry. I'll uphold the honor of the old outfit. Star, Vincent's my name, sharpshooting's my game. Try me. Nice shot, Star. Simple, but nice. Yeah, try this. If one dances, one must pay the piper. If there's anything I cannot stand, it's a sore loser. Are you all right?
No, I can't make it. My hover stabilization's gone. My main circuit's broke. And both backups are failing.
You can make it.
It's no use, Vincent. My useful days are finished. But part of me goes with you. You'll never be obsolete. Carry on the tradition. We're the best.
Okay, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little sound clip there from the black hole. Let's fix your hat here, little buddy. The vibration from the speaker makes that move a little bit. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with these. And again, DeWitt, if you're out there watching, thank you so much for sending me this kit. I really appreciate it, and I'll always take really good care of it. It's one of my favorites. So we'll see you next time, everybody. Take care, and happy modeling, everyone.